Welcome back, everyone. We are back and ready to dive into something pretty huge, this year's Stanford AI Index report.
It's really become the go-to source for understanding what's actually going on in the world of AI.
No doubt. And this year, one theme really jumps out.
Generative AI.
Right. It's not just about analyzing data anymore. These models are actually creating things.
And not just simple things. We're talking about poems, music, even code.
It's kind of mind-blowing. And it's already having a real impact on different industries, which is, I think, why the way they're evaluating these models has gotten so interesting.
Totally. It's gone way beyond just those benchmarks, like how fast an algorithm can process something.
It's about the human experience, like they're using these chatbot arenas.
Oh, yeah, where they basically have AIs go head-to-head, like in a conversational competition.
And get this, humans are the judges. They're trying to figure out which AI sounds the most natural, most human-like. It's like something straight out of science fiction.
But this is really important stuff because as AI enters fields like education or healthcare,
Where that human touch is everything.
exactly, it can't just be about spitting out information. It has to connect on a deeper level.
And this is where things get even wilder. The report talks about how AI is going to completely change how productive we can be.
And not just in terms of like automating those boring tasks everyone hates. It's about actually making us better at what we do.
Like having an AI assistant who can help a doctor diagnose diseases more accurately.
Or give marketers these crazy detailed insights into their customers.
We're not talking about the distant future either. The report is full of examples of how this is already happening.
And that brings us to the, shall we say, the elephant in the room.
The money.
Exactly. Private investment in AI has absolutely exploded. We're talking billions upon billions of dollars pouring in.
But here's the thing. It used to be universities leading the charge on AI research, right?
Now it's the big companies. In fact, last year alone, they developed way more of those groundbreaking models than all the universities combined.
Which is both exciting and, maybe a little bit worrying.
It's a total double-edged sword. On one hand, things are moving so much faster. But then there's that question of who controls that research, who benefits from it.
And what it means for the future of AI. And speaking of worrying, this report does not shy away from all the ethical questions swirling around AI.
Yeah, and it's not just like governments freaking out. People are starting to get it,
Like those deepfakes that can make anyone look like they're saying anything.
Exactly. Or algorithms that are supposed to be neutral, but they end up reinforcing all these biases we're trying to get rid of.
It really begs the question, how do we make sure AI develops responsibly? So it helps everyone, not just a select few.
Transparency is huge. Like imagine if every AI system had to come with these super clear guidelines, almost like a moral code.
A digital conscience. I like that.
Right. Something that guarantees it's going to be fair, accountable, and most importantly, under human control.
And this isn't just a one-country thing. We need everyone on board.
Global cooperation is key. International agreements, shared standards, the whole shebang. We have to work together on this, or it's going to be a free-for-all out there.
Now, all this amazing tech doesn't just magically appear, right? The report spends a lot of time on the costs of training these AI models.
And it's not for the faint of heart. Some of these price tags are in the millions, easy.
Yikes. And I'm guessing that's not just for the salaries of all those brilliant minds working on this stuff.
Nope. Training these AI behemoths takes a crazy amount of energy.
So all this progress is leaving a pretty hefty carbon footprint.
Which is why it's super encouraging to see this big push for sustainable AI development.
AI that can solve climate change, not contribute to it. That's what we need.
Exactly. And it's not just some pipe dream. Researchers and companies are actually starting to make this a priority.
Now, speaking of competition, the report also dives into that whole US versus China thing when it comes to AI.
Oh, yeah, it's like the ultimate tech showdown. And the US is definitely ahead, at least for now.
But China's catching up fast.
No doubt. Especially when you look at how many robots they're deploying and the sheer volume of patents they're filing.
It's interesting, though, because they're kind of taking different approaches, right?
For sure. The U.S. seems laser-focused on pushing the limits of what's possible, building those mind-blowing models that everyone's talking about.
While China's more about integrating AI into everyday life. They're putting it to work in factories, healthcare, you name it.
It's like the U.S. is building the brain and China's building the body. Who knows how this is going to play out?
It's anyone's game. But one thing's for sure, whoever comes out on top is going to have a huge influence on the future.
Absolutely. And that future, well, it can be a little intimidating, right? I mean, we're talking about AI that can do pretty much anything a human can do, often better.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Are we heading towards a world where machines are calling the shots?
It's a question everyone's asking. And the report, to its credit, acknowledges those long-term risks.
But it also stresses that we have more power than we think.
Exactly. We're not just passive passengers on this ride. We need to be actively shaping the future of AI, steering it in the direction we want it to go.
And that means being informed, having those tough conversations, and making sure we never lose sight of our own humanity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as much progress as AI has made, there's still so much it can't do.
Oh, absolutely. The report highlights a lot of those limitations, like common sense reasoning.
Right. AI might be able to write a symphony that would make Mozart jealous.
But it can't explain why that same symphony makes you feel a certain way.
Or tell you what to do if you spill your coffee all over your keyboard.
It's those uniquely human things, those nuances of experience that AI still struggles with.
And that's actually incredibly exciting. It means there's still so much more to discover, so much potential for even bigger breakthroughs.
Like this whole neuromorphic computing thing, where they're trying to build AI that actually functions like the human brain.
It's not just about mimicking the structure anymore. It's about replicating how we learn, how we adapt, how we make those split-second decisions based on intuition and experience.
It's like we're teaching AI to trust its gut. That's both amazing and a little bit, I don't know, unnerving.
Oh, absolutely. AI is evolving so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up.
It's true. So for those of us who are, fascinated by this stuff but don't have a degree in computer science, where do we even start?
Yeah. You definitely don't need to be an expert to understand the basics and how it's going to impact all of us.
Right. So where should people go, besides reading the entire AI Index report, of course, which we highly recommend?
Of course. But seriously, there are tons of resources out there. Online courses, documentaries, even other podcasts.
I was just going to say, there's some really good podcasts out there.
Exactly. Find something that interests you and just dive in. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Because the more we know about AI, the better equipped we are to deal with it.
100%.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, right?
Totally. But it's also easy to feel powerless. Like AI is this runaway train, and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
I get that. But here's the thing. Talk about it. With your friends, family, coworkers.
Start a conversation.
Yes. Voice your concerns, your hopes, everything. Because those conversations, they matter. They get people thinking. And that can lead to real change.
So it's about raising awareness, making sure AI is something everyone's thinking about, not just a handful of experts.
Exactly. We're all stakeholders in this. Support those organizations that are fighting for responsible AI.
Right. Put your money where your mouth is.
And don't forget about your elected officials. They need to hear from you, too, on how AI should be regulated.
Because the future is not set in stone.
Yeah.
We can still shape it.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap things up, was there anything else in the report that really stuck with you?
Oh, for sure. That whole part about diversity in AI, or the lack thereof.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about having, the smartest engineers in the room.
We need ethicists, philosophers, artists even.
People from all walks of life. Because AI isn't just about algorithms. It's about what it means to be human.
And making sure that AI enhances our humanity, not, diminishes it somehow.
It's about creating a future where technology serves us, not the other way around.
Well said. This has been a wild ride. From generative AI to those ethical dilemmas to the future of, everything.
The 2024 AI Index report definitely gives us a lot to think about.
It sure does. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Remember, the future of AI is not predetermined. We all have a role to play in shaping what it becomes. So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. We'll see you next time.